The city itself is the 8th largest city in the state. We have a population of about 67,000, and energy conservation has always been a key focus of us, given the amount of buildings and facilities we have. The city currently has about 560,000 square feet of major municipal buildings: City Hall, Public Safety, Public Works, fire stations, and then some of our key recreational buildings, which would be the Bielenberg Sports Center, Central Park, which is an indoor park, library attached to a YMCA. Our sustainability goals are really to maintain our energy use either constant or to drop it from year to year. And we've been successful in doing that over the course of the last 10 years, despite the growth in the community, the growth in square footage of buildings. So by implementing various energy conservation measures, or as we've improved buildings, we've instituted alternative energy options as well into our buildings. So we're trying to tightly manage our energy use overall. We've been part of the B3 program since its inception. So all of our major municipal buildings we track through B3. We regularly enter that data on a monthly basis as soon as we get our utility bills. So we use that to look at things on a month-to-month basis, and then we also look at it on a year-to-year basis, and then we can kind of trend and see what's changing. So we look at that and really like the graphing component of that. That gives us the ability to compare from year to year, what our BTU usage is, what our costs are, break it down to natural gas, break it down to electric, and really kind of drill to the details and see where the problems are. And then we also look at our operations very closely, where if we see a building that is using more energy, we want to kind of get to the bottom of that. If there's really no reason from a weather standpoint or a growth standpoint, and then try and figure out if there's an operational technique that we can do in the controls of the system. And we've been successful in doing that most specifically at our Bielenberg Sports Center building. We will use it to compare it to other buildings and see where we fit in the hierarchy of all the other buildings that are in the system. So for example, we've discovered that some of our fire stations are above the typical benchmarks for buildings of that type. So then we would try and drill down and see what it is. Is it the amount of time that building is used? It might be more 24-hour operation compared to the other buildings, so consequently we're using more energy. Or do we get into actually doing a recommissioning study of that building, because those buildings tend to be a little bit older, and then looking at more details. The greatest value, I think, is the comparative data, the ability to do the graphing, and to always keep energy usage at the forefront of what you're doing. So it is a great tool to have, to be able to keep track of all of your electric usage, gas usage in one place, be able to compare it, be able to do the graphing, and then to be able to make some decisions moving forward on capital projects or operational changes that you want to make.